Thanos was one of those villains that made the most sense to me because listen, what he was trying to do was fucked up.
Oh my god, he's going off about the Thanos thing again. Like,
but you know,
we can't just like wipe out like half of like fucking humanity.
Yeah, but to get rid of, you know, like there will be, you know, like 7 billion is soon going to be 10 to 11 billion, and that shit's going to be disastrous.
No, I completely understand. I think that we're definitely populating like way too fucking fast.
I feel like we should be like, oh, like you know what kid is enough. I feel like
sure, bro. You know what's
you know what? Maybe two. Like two. Shit. Like
I've really been of a mind recently. I've been thinking about it, like just like maybe like not having kids. I mean, I really, really want kids.
But I want it for selfish reasons to continue.
That's exactly me.
Continue my genes and my ideas and the things that I want to pass down.
Right. But I'm completely aware of the fact that like by having children, I'm only adding to the problem.
You are. Yeah. You are. But this is the thing. Like I feel like there's studies going on right now that what China did, the one child rule.
Yeah, I thought it was 2 children.
I think no, it was the one kid rule. Like a long time was that.
Oh, okay.
If you had 2, you had to pay more taxes. But that idea is coming back around to bite them in the ass though, because the population is going down. It's dipping in a way that was like it's too low to what they wanted it to be. Right. Which they're still 1 billion strong. I don't know what the fuck they want to be. Like you're still 1 billion strong. Chill. Like China is a huge part of this freaking problem. China and India.
Well, okay. So let's abandon
that. Let's abandon that.
I really want to just apologize for anyone who was watching. The live went off. I had to restart it. What we were talking about was, I guess more or less it was like our view of how to possibly go about fixing this situation.
Yeah, it was me talking about Sweden and Switzerland and the system being a little more progressive but still being flawed and one guy fucking it up.
Well, okay, so that is exactly what I wanted to address.
You're welcome, I brought you back.
Yeah. So at least in the United States, it's not entirely that way. It's not a one man, right? Like
no, it's a system. Senate, Congress. You know, it's
the Senate, House of Representatives.
But it's still the idea. One of the things that I don't agree is voting in one guy that we say is the leader of 350 million people.
Right. Okay,
I don't agree with that.
So what you're talking about is the social status that we give to the position. That I completely understand.
If we get rid of that,
I completely understand.
We'll be way better off.
Now, see, I don't really know how I feel about that because I do believe that, like, I'm a big fan of AOC, right? And like, I really love the way that she's like pushing things forward. I think she could be like a little overzealous sometimes.
She's a little extreme sometimes.
I don't think she's extreme at all. I think if we really were to like get into it and like have like a really in-depth conversation, I think I'm way more extreme than AOC.
No, you are way more. But the thing is, the reason why she's not that in the public eye is because she has to back up a little bit. But still, a lot of the things that she's.
Well, what I think, look, she's a freshman representative. I think that she gets a little excited.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that it's all a matter. You know, she hasn't even been there a year.
Yeah, she's young, which is what we need.
I totally agree with that. We need more.
I feel like there's people 85, 82 that are still in power, like still in government. That I feel like
you gotta go.
No, like anybody over 60. I feel like this rule should pass. Like, listen, I feel like this rule should pass, and I feel like it's a little ageist, and it's a little wrong to say it maybe, and it's a little unfair for people that still can perform the job. You know, over that. But I feel like anybody over 60 should consider stepping down to let younger generations take the seats that they had, because this is not generation baby boomers anymore. This is not. But that's the only people that are in power right now.
Right.
If you really look into it, there's no millennials. There's some. I'm not gonna say there's not, but.
It's about like real established.
Yeah, it's real. Like there's maybe 1% of millennials in government,
right?
Where there's 99% still over the generation that we don't see eye to eye at all. And this new generation, it's overpopulating the old generation already. Like we already, that generation is dying off. So how is it fair that your generation, your views that you had at those times,
You're still making
decisions for us that we completely have
our whole life ahead of us.
Yeah, and we have changed
I
drastically,
agree with
vision-wise. You know, we have changed drastically. Like it's time to be like, and this is why I go again. It's like anybody that over 65 or 60, I feel like should have it should be like, hey, maybe you should step down. Maybe we should have the option of being like, maybe it's time for you to step down. For somebody 30 or 40 to take over your seat. Somebody that agrees more, that not just agrees more, but sees more the world the way that we see it.
Right.
It's like I feel like that should be something like if that is implemented.
But you know what's
we'll have a
problem?
drastic change though.
But see, this is a big problem.
But
young
climate
people,
change will be completely different right now.
Like if young
climate
people were in charge, we wouldn't have climate change.
Climate change issues, climate like Mitch, come.
Oh, he's
that
fucking
mother.
dick.
Like,
fucking
listen, I am not.
turtle vagina looking neck.
Listen, guys. I'm pretty obvious and I'm pretty loud when I say I am not Democrat. I'm not a Democrat. Well, I'm not a Republican. I'm more in the middle. I agree with some of the views in both, but I don't like labeling myself because I don't agree with all the things of one of the parties, whatever they say. You know, like if somebody says I'm Democratic, I have to agree with everything that the Democrats do. No thanks. So I'm neither. So, but Mitch McConnell, that's a motherfucker that I just completitly hate. Like
he has easily been the most detrimental thing to American politics.
Yes.
And I guess Trump was pretty probably like just lapsing.
No, because the thing is, Trump has only been in the government for 2 years.
Yeah, but look at all the damage he's done in 2 years.
Yeah, but Mitch McConnell has done a lot of damage behind doors, like behind closed doors. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me now that this dude is just because this dude is loud and loud as hell. What he's doing is way worse than this guy.
That is very true.
Because Mitch McConnell might not be as loud as Trump, but has done way worse and way more. Like, listen, to take away the seats that Obama had rightful to pick for Supreme
Court justices.
Yeah, those seats were Democrats, bro. Like, listen, I don't give a shit if it's the Republican or Democratic.
I do.
But this is what I'm saying. Hold on. This is what I'm saying. Like, this is for the audience to know that I'm not biased.
No, I completely understand.
I'm not biased.
I completely understand being impartial as far as the parties go.
Yeah.
But this is
but that was the rightful seats for the Democrats to pick. That was not the rightful seats for the Republican. And for the dirty ways that they did to not let him do it, to now when the Republican Party is time to choose, it's like everything that he said before. It's like, no, we need to wait. We need to. This is completely unfair. Now it's like a whole 360. It's like what the Democrats are doing. Right. It's just never seen. Like, what? You just did it 2 years ago, you motherfucker. Like, are you kidding me? Like, the hypocrisy. Like, this is why I hate politics.
No, I agree.
This is why I hate politics. The hypocrisy that just runs. And nowadays, it's like, you can't be hypocritical, man, because everything is videotaped. Everything is recorded way better than before.
So look, this touches on, like, there's a lot to unpack there, right?
I gave you all. You're welcome. Now go ahead.
So this is the thing. So you were right. I definitely misspoke when I said that Trump was worse than McConnell. As far as policy and like
he's just
things that have been implemented, McConnell has done a lot more damage to the American political system than Trump can probably do in his years in office.
And also, do you really think that Trump has done that much shit? It's mostly Pence.
Well,
like that's the motherfuckers.
I think that I wouldn't bet that Pence had a lot to do with it, but this is the thing. So this is okay. Let me start. Let me start with McConnell, right? McConnell is a fucking scumbag, just to put it really, really, really simply. And I really, really want to, when you say that, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I mean, I think I'm impartial to both parties too. I think that Democrats are fucking losers. They don't know how to work together. They spend a lot of time attacking each other, and because they do that, they influence their constituents to do the same thing, right? Exactly, because there's no sense of unity amongst Democrats and in all honesty, most liberals. right? Liberals have a really bad problem where, you know, if someone disagrees with you, you don't pass the purity test, right? Then you are the enemy. And I don't think that that's good either. However, this is where I just draw the distinction between the left and the right. When you move in these directions, right? When you move to the left, you move towards progressive policies that are better for the community. What I mean when I say this is you move towards policies like the weekend, right? You have workers' rights, women's rights, black rights. You know, there's a sense of the policies that are typically promoted by the left promote a sense of unity, economic fairness, right?
Even though the party is not unionist.
Yeah, even though the party, but that's what I mean. There's a purity test, right, that a lot of liberals like to put people through. And I think that purity test is fucking stupid. It does nothing for the cause, right? And that's a really big problem. Now, the further right you move, however, right, there's no fairness in those policies. It's all about separating people, excluding people. It's all about individualism. It's about the sense that, you know, you are not responsible for the other person, that you have no responsibility to your community, right? We start moving towards things like fascism. We start moving towards things like Nazism, right? When you go to when you go to the right, you start running into neo-Nazis. You start running into proto-fascists. You start running into white supremacists. Those are not problems that exist on the left. Those are not problems that happen amongst the left. So I always have a really big issue whenever people like to say, oh, well, you know, both sides have problems. Both sides do have problems, but one side's problems are significantly less than the other. And I think that there has to be a way to make people understand that, because it's ridiculous that, my problem with centrism is exactly that. The centrist is able to look at the population or to look at people and say, well, you know, both sides have a problem. They both suck. It's the better of two evils. And I think that no one should be so naive to deny the flaws that exist within their own groups. However, I think that it is also irresponsible that. Sorry, I got a little distracted. But yeah, that was my little thing.
Yeah, the phone moved.
Did the light went off?
No, that's good. But the phone moved over, but it's fine. No, I kind of understand what you're saying. You're kind of basically saying that me being a centrist, it's not...
Well, I mean, you're not really a centrist, though. I think you have centrist tendencies, but your overall attitude is fairly left, I would say.
Don't label me, bro.
I'm not labeling you, but your political tendencies swing a little left. I'm like I said, I don't think that you're left the way I'm left. Right? Like, if we were really to go into it and stuff, I could talk to you a little bit, not very well. I'm still learning how to formulate my arguments.
By the way, your cousin says that both groups are crap.
Who's my cousin?
The Gunters.
Okay, so...
People are misguided.
So, oh, damn. The camera moved a lot, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, the camera moved a lot.
Yeah. Alright, well, I just want to explain this really quickly. Both groups suck. However, you're thinking about Democrats and Republicans. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about ideology. Ideology is extremely important in this case. The Gunters is saying the right and left are both crap. People are misguided. There are good people on both sides. There are bad people on both sides. Like on the left, you have a lot of white savior people. There are also people who try to censor everything you do and have, to walk on eggshells. Right? You have a lot of crappy people who are selfish. Okay, so I want to address this really, really fast. You are right. There are segments of the left and the right that are... I just want to use this as a reference. There are segments of the left and the right that are both really shitty. I completely agree that and that's what I was talking about before, that the left likes to eat its own, in the sense that you're right, like they like to censor what people say, and you have to be careful with what words you're talking about and all that stuff. But again, when you move towards the left, right, you don't have the same problems that you find on the right. This is demonstrable.
Well, that perspective is because the right tends to pride themselves in being more of the religious party. So it goes down to being now. That's why those type of groups flunk to that, because it's pride more like, hey, we're religious. Now they are like, everything is by the Bible.
But that is so fucking hollow. I'm sorry, that's so fucking hollow. Okay. The right, especially the right, they like to, go around and they like to claim morality as if it was their own brand, right? But if you look at conservative policy, and this is exactly what I'm talking about, when people say that the left and the right both suck, they're not totally wrong, but you're fucking wrong. Because this is basically...
Wait, hold on, you just went back right on what you said.
No, I mean, I'm using hyperbole.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that, yeah, look, there are parts of the left that suck, but when you move towards progressive leftist policy, right, what do you get? You get workers' rights, you get unions, you get health care, you get education, you get, these are things that are demonstrable. These are things that are pushed by liberals, right? When you move to the right, when you go conservative, you don't get any of that stuff. Right? You get corporatism, right? You get exploitism. You get...
You can very easily say corporatism is also in the left.
Okay, but see, all right, so this is what corporatism, a true leftist, a person who's really on the left, who really holds these ideals, would not be a corporatist. When you're
but those are the people in power, though.
Right. Okay, but this is what I'm saying. You're thinking about a Democrat and a Republican, right?
That's what we're talking about.
No. That is what we're not talking about. That we're talking about ideology.
Oh, like the right and the left.
But what it manifests itself as, right, is a Democrat and a Republican. Now you have corporate Democrats. These people are not liberals. I cannot stress that enough. These people are not liberals. They are, for all intensive purposes, conservative. They allow a system to remain in place that exploits their own, that actively works against liberal ideals, and that encourages poverty amongst the masses. Not only poverty, but also like misinformation, bad education, bad health. The list goes on and on. These are things that are implemented by right-wing ideology. Corporatism, capitalism, all those things move toward fascism. That is something that we see in every Western nation. Mm-hmm. This is something that is. I don't even know how. I want to draw on this board so I can give you guys a visual. It's.
I'm gonna fix the angle, but keep going.
Yeah, no, go ahead. But these are things that happen when you move to the right. And that is why I say that, look, if you're going to criticize Democrats because Democrats suck, then I'm right there with you, because Democrats do suck. They're all bought. Most of them, right? And I think that the criticisms for them are completely valid. I think that the criticisms for them are completely valid. However, I think that when you move toward the right, you get a symptom, right? You get a really bad symptom, like Trump. You get that white nationalist ideology. You get, the neo-Nazi. You get the, I think I said white supremacist already.
Shit, my bad.
But and that's the point that I'm making. These things don't exist for the left. There are really bad people on the left. There are really bad people on the right. And that's about as much commonality as you'll find between the two groups.
Listen, man, I agree with a lot of shit you say. I agree. But you're obviously a little biased. You're obviously you agree more with the left.
Okay.
I tend to find the reason why I'm more in the center, and you might say that I tend to have more left thing, which I might agree with. I do. But the to have the chance to say I'm more in the middle. I want to be more in the middle, and to strive to be more in the middle, is to now understand more of the people that are in that other side that you completely disagree with. Like I want my drive is to try to understand these people.
I understand them.
But it's also to go like this is okay. Now going back to Democratic and Republican, this is the issue of the Democratic Party, is that they choose to not even talk to those people.
That's not what I'm doing.
No, I understand, but like this is where like that divide creates problems. Because a Democrat will never go on Fox News and will never try to.
That's because the Democrats are pussies.
Well, also, yeah, I agree with that. But this is the problem of identifying with one side, is that you completely disagree with that other side and you shut down whatever the other side say.
But this is the thing. There's some things that fully deserve to be shut down. If someone comes and they're a far right wing advocate, then you deserve to get your ass logically, intellectually handed to you. Like, because look at their arguments. When you think,
I understand.
Go ahead.
I understand that they should, but nobody's doing it. You know how many identities has of like right wing people that call themselves intellectuals and go out and spill their things, and they're not being combative. It's because you then when a leftist who's triggered all the time hears this, then doesn't go on the route of fighting them intellectually. Instead, they go out on the route of like cursing and then completely which you should always, like these fuckers do, right? Like if you don't agree with them with the right, you should. What they do very well is they detach themselves very fucking well from emotions, and they spew their shit, their ideas, and their shit to get to people because they're so controlled.
But see,
people listen to it. Let me finish real quick. But this is the problem then of the left, that they don't take that. Instead of you sitting down with them, right, in a room and completely showing the public how wrong they are intellectually and completely beating them. Doesn't happen. Instead of what you get is a bunch of Twitter fingers completely cursing at them, completely and then you being the person that's reading it is like, all right, but you being childish in your response instead of just finding.
So I see what you're saying. I completely understand. And this is look. I think it's a little irresponsible or a little irrational to think that everybody is going to be able to articulate certain ideals as well as people who are experienced in something like this and that can really, really hold in a debate style conversation, right? And people are emotional. You find that on the right all the time.
Yeah,
all the time.
But you don't see that much in the media.
What, dude? Trump is the most emotional.
We're not talking
president.
about Trump, though.
No. You said in the media, though, right? And
we're talking about these people that go out and spill their ideals. Ben Shapiro.
Ben Shapiro is one of the more emotional people that is on the internet right now. Like that is literally, dude. He was interviewed and almost started crying on national television because Andrew Neil asked him hard questions.
Like, I didn't see that.
Dude, he was such a fucking bitch. I'll show you the video once we're done with this episode. But like, and this is exactly what I mean. Okay, the right has done this thing where they have the ability to label anybody on the left and say, oh, look at how emotional they're being, blah blah blah. You know, look at how irrational they are. Look at how segregated they are. You know, but this is and this is the problem. That may be true. On the left, we do eat each other. I completely agree with that statement. However, the right is equally as emotional, and I will even go as far as to say that any argument that they develop is based off of emotion, not fact. And that is why I am on the left. Not because I choose to be on the left, but because that is the rational, logical, way to go. You know, when it comes to climate change, who's the only one that's really trying to fix that problem? The left. When it comes to healthcare, who's really trying to fix that problem? The left. When it comes to gun violence, who's really trying to fix that problem? The left. When it comes to educating the masses, who's really trying to fix that problem? The left.
And I agree with those points, but I don't want to say that I'm a leftist because then.
But look, I don't see. This is the thing. I don't understand why people can't just if those are things that you agree with, if those are things that you value, right? If those are and I mean, look, we're not really getting too specific, and we're being very broad in what we're talking about right now, right? But I would like to definitely go more in depth into this once I have information in front of me, because a lot of what I'm talking about, I'm going off of my memory, and I don't want to be wrong in in what I say, especially in these topics.
And by the way, this is not AV politics. Which, by the way, guys, this is something. This is an advertisement right here of what AV politics could look like. This is us talking about more politics, which we have completely destroyed. AVP, which is not AV politics.
Well, you know what? But you know, the conversation went naturally, and that's really what the goal is. That's really what the goal is.
I understand. You wanted to finish this, but I feel like you should finish it, and then we should cut it. Okay. Cut the politics.
Oh yeah. So basically, the only thing that I want to say is that fucking conservatives are stupid. And that's pretty much my thought.
That's why you isolate other sides.
Bro, I mean, look, if anyone wants to debate me on that, I would be more than willing to do something like that. And you know what? If you guys convince me and your argument is well thought out, well articulated, and you have evidence to back what you're saying, then I will change my mind. But from what I've read, from what I've seen, from the things that I have experienced, that just does not seem to be the case.
And there goes the bias. This is why this is not AV politics, because out of the most passionate one, out of the two of us, that's going to be always in that genre, it's going to be that fucking guy. Because at the end of the day, I am aware of my surroundings. I'm aware of what's going on in the politic world. I'm aware of what's going on in the world, even not here in this country. But I do not take politics to heart, because politics is
everything is political, my friend.
Politics is the most hypocritical thing, and I just hate politics.
I think so. We'll end this really quick.
End it.
Okay, so I think a few things. I think that just because something is biased does not mean it is wrong, right? Okay. I am biased in favor of science because science is right?
How dare you? Because the guy, I fucking read the Bible and the guy says 5,000 years old, and your stupid book says 4.6 billion years old. Tell me that, bitch. I'm trying to fuck with him right now, dude.
Just don't get me started on that whole religion shit now, okay? But I think that just because something is biased does not mean it is inherently wrong. Something can be biased and still be right. We're not going to get too into it right now because we're about to wrap this up, but I definitely wanted to make that point.
That's true. But if when you're biased in your like being left, which is fine. And then you said conservatives are all fucking morons. You're isolating your
okay. All right, fine.
You're isolating.
Allow me to rephrase that then.
Okay.
Conservative ideology is moronic, and anyone who believes it has bought into an ideology that actively works against their best interests.
That's a little better, but still, you're cornering that side to be like, hold on, because I've had this view for 37 years in my life. And now you're telling me that my view is wrong? You have to give them, you have to show them, and you have to give them an ease to.
But just because someone has a view for a very long time does not mean that view is correct. And I completely agree.
That is true, but if you go then and you completely tell them you're fucking wrong, you're questioning their entire belief of their entire existence that they have so far. Dude.
So allow me to
allow you to change it again.
No. Allow me to just allow me to just say this then.
Okay.
I completely agree that perhaps in conversation being combative is not helpful.
Yes.
Right? However, in this particular situation, I do think that however combative the rhetoric might be, it is still valid. And I think that, especially when it comes to these types of topics, the hard truths is basically how it has to be communicated. I don't find any value in having a middle-of-the-road approach, because a middle-of-the-road approach only gives excuses to both sides to not have to hold themselves accountable to the ideologies that they hold. And I think that that's really dangerous. And I think...
Listen, man, I am not disagreeing with you, right? But I am in a way trying to tell you how to help your view.
No. I
broadcast to those people, right? Because
I completely understand, but this is what I mean, and this is why So I'm obviously very passionate about these things, right? But I think.
Oh, what you are?
But I think that it's important, right? We have to be able to communicate with each other in, for lack of a better term, aggressive manners. Right? We have to be able to really hash these things out. And I think that in this particular case, passion, when combined with information, good information by accredited sources, right? That is how things move forward. When you have these debates, if I sit across from a person who is on the far right, now, I don't know if I would consider myself being as part of the far left, even though I'm sure many would say that. Like, I'm sure that there's a whole bunch of people on the right that would say I'm far left. But I don't think I'm very far left at all. But when I argue a person who is opposite of my position, right, I am going to expect that person to be able to not only passionately make their argument, but to be able to make that argument well, right? And if you cannot make that argument passionately, I do think that works against you, because it means that you either, I think so, you can't just argue on emotion, but emotion will help you to transfer the message. So my goal may not be to convert the guy sitting across from me, but my goal is to convert someone in the audience. If I can make a case to somebody emotionally using the truth, then that is how it should be done.
And in their opinion, it's your truth.
But the thing is, my truth is like the real truth.
But
like,
there you fucking go again, bro. But this is the issue. This is the issue. Like, listen, a Republican, a right wing person is an evangelical, basically.
Okay, but so all right,
it's religious. It's literally because it's their belief that they have had their entire life, right? And that's their truth. Like
but that's not the truth, and that's what I mean.
But no, what you have to realize is that people live in different realities from yours, bro.
So
we got this, dog. We got this fucking politics.
All right, fine. Look, we're gonna leave it at that. Okay. We will continue this conversation
on AV politics. Listen, guys, you like that? You like that passionate shit? That's gonna be on AV politics. By the way, this girl Lily says, "Sorry, but I'm trying to be in the DMs of that dude in that orange, and I'm about to hit her up too." She looks good. But yeah, that's guys. That's like what we had there. It's
we really went on a wild ride.
Because we started off on a very good conversation. We're gonna go intellectually, but then you decided to make it political.
Well, you made it political.
Did I?
I think you did.
If we hit rewind, you picked it up and you went.
Nah, bro. You started getting me talking about like U.S. corporations and shit and all that.
Bro, you fucking went for it because I was
trying really, really hard to keep away from that.
I was fine with just going intellectually in the whole conversation, but it's fine.
Okay, you know what?
Hold on. It gives a preview to the people that's what's coming. Like AV politics, it's gonna be solely political, which is gonna be a headache for me because I fucking hate it. But it's fine because, I'm gonna have to keep this guy in check because this guy is just.
Well, what I was gonna say, I actually already forgot. But that is, we really went on a little bit of a wild ride there.
But this was a good ass conversation.
It was a great conversation, and
started Dominican Republic, had a beautiful conversation of the Dominican Republic and their issues.
That was great.
And if we can go more into that, maybe
we totally should. I completely agree. And I would like to talk about Latin America as a whole. Next time.
No, we should.
But guys, thank you for tuning in. We really, really appreciate it. For those of you that made it through the live stream, you are the real ones. You really, really are. And we appreciate every view. We appreciate every listen. Thank you so much. Good night.
Good night, guys. Love you guys.